Shadharani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are starting the new chapter today, chapter 15 of the third canto. So in the previous chapter, we saw the conception of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Of course, we don't know their names yet in this part, but Kashyapa gave in to Diti's desire, and they conceived in an inauspicious time. At the same time, when the chapter ended with Diti's optimism, she was pleased with the benediction of having an amazing grandson who will be very exalted devotee. So we can learn from that to be optimistic, to see things from a Krishna conscious perspective, because there is no other optimism better than connection to Krishna. Krishna connection is the actual auspiciousness of everything. And today, we're going to see something of another dimension. I don't know if Rasastali Mataji is here yet, but I can start reading until one of you are available. Right. Oh, Hare Krishna, Rasastali Mataji. Maybe I can start with the summary and then you can start reading until, yeah. Chapter 15, the Kingdom of God. Diti's pregnancy causes great universal disturbance, and the gods seek Lord Brahma's assistance. He explains the history of the two demons in her womb, how they were previously Lord Narayana's gatekeepers in Vaikuntha, who were cursed to take material births. Mataji, would you like to start reading?
Okay. Diti's maidservants gently massaged her back as she leaned forward awkwardly over a cushion. Her belly was so large she was hardly able to stand, nor could she find any comfortable position to sit or lie down. She was having strong contractions which she strenuously resisted. She did not want to give birth. Her maidservant timidly said, "Dear mistress, you have been carrying your fetus for 100 years. This burden is unbearable for your body. Gentle lady, please do not resist the contractions any longer. You cannot indefinitely protect the gods from what is destined." Diti slowly shook her head, her face contorted with pain. She would rather personally suffer than give birth to sons who would disturb the gods. Meanwhile, Surya, the sun god, lost his shining power. Receiving neither sunlight nor moonlight, the universe was plunged into darkness. Indra called the heavenly physicians, the Ashwani Kumara brothers, to examine Surya. They reported to Indra that they were unable to cure Surya as Diti's pregnancy was causing his malaise. Unsure what to do, the gods flew to Satyaloka. Even there, it was densely dark. Only Brahma's magical assembly hall was dimly lit with floating mystical lights. Bowing down, bowing before Brahma, the gods anxiously asked what was happening. Indra, Varuna, Vayu, and the twin Ashwini brothers flanked the dispirited Surya and Chandra. Indra spoke first. "Great one, we are troubled by this darkness. Since your vision is not restricted by time, we are sure you know the cause. Lord of Lords, maintainer of the universe, pressed jewel of the gods, you know everything. Kindly tell us why this pregnancy is causing darkness throughout the universe? Varuna next spoke. My lord, we offer you our humble obeisances. The Vedas, the origin of scientific knowledge, were first imparted into your heart by Lord Krishna. Therefore, you are the source of all learning in the world. You were born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is invisible to conditioned souls. You have accepted a body from the Lord's external energy composed of the pure mode of passion. The planets exist within you, and the living beings are generated from you. You create this universe, and anyone who meditates upon you without deviation attains devotional service. Vayu spoke, Vayu next spoke. Mature mystics, you have subdued their minds and senses through breath control have nothing to fear because you protect them. As a bull is controlled by a rope attached to its nose, similarly, all living beings within the universe are controlled by the Vedic injunctions. Anyone desiring real benefit must act according to these injunctions. Otherwise, they will be put into a miserable condition. These Vedic literatures were manifest through you. Therefore, we offer you our respectful obeisance.
Okay, we'll pause there. This is again a type of prayer of Samprarthanatmika, which is, glorifying. Of course, we know that the demigod's intention is to seek protection, but they are glorifying. So this is again another very basic common sense that before we approach anybody to ask any help, first we glorify, right? First we offer our respects and admirations are expressed before we ask for something. And what we see here is, it's very inconceivable. It's very unbelievable. It's like so crazy. Surya Narayana is sick. Can you imagine if Surya gets sick? What will happen to the universe? Signs, like imagine sun in the morning doesn't shine, and we're like, is it day or is it night? We don't know. Can you imagine? It's incredible. And then, of course, if sun is not there, what is there? Nothing is possible without sun. Without sun, there is no light, and without light, there is no food. Without food, there is no nourishment, and without nourishment, we are all dead, like as good as dead. It's like inconceivable position, right? And then, therefore, we can imagine the potency of these two unborn babies, how powerfully inauspicious they can be for the gods. Yet these curses are they have a purpose, because the Lord has to come and the Lord has to re-establish dharma. The gods are, of course, afraid, as we can see. All the demigods are in charge, are all like being affected, but Supreme Lord is never affected. He's above, right? He is Atmarama. He's satisfied and personally not affected by all these things. Yet at the same time, he does do the stanam and poshanam of the living entities. He does protect us from difficulties. So if the living entities are not able to live according to the standards of the universe, the laws of the universe, then the Lord has to interfere. So that's what we will see later. And the Lord always arrives like the hero, arrives later. Once everything has been experienced and learned by whosoever is concerned. Any other questions or comments? This is also interesting analogy. The bull is controlled by a rope attached to its nose. So similarly, all living beings within the universe are controlled by the Vedic injunctions. Whether or not we accept or we deny it, the Vedic injunctions apply to human beings. We do certain actions, there will be certain consequences. If we don't follow the Vedic rules, then consequences are not pleasant. And these consequences follow us lifetime after lifetime. It's not only, oh, but what did I do in this life that this happening to me, right? We often ask this
Mm.
question. Well, not this lifetime, we have forgotten, but in previous life, we didn't follow the Vedic injunctions. We did something naughty, something not very nice. So in this lifetime, we are paying those debts. We're paying back the consequences of that reactions of not following Vedic instructions. Ultimately, for human beings, that's the laws. The laws of Vedas is our path of liberation, is our path of progression.
Yeah, it's
So,
showing that anyone, if we desire any real benefit, we have to act according to those injunctions.
mm,
Or
true,
otherwise, we'll be put into miserable conditions if we don't act according to the injunctions. This is
true.
also, yeah.
I mean, like a child, right, in the school doesn't follow the rules and does whatever it wants, bunks the classes, right? Imagine bunks classes, doesn't go to the classes regularly, creates havoc, hurts other children, does all those kind of things. Obviously, how can that child progress, right?
Mm.
What will be on the report card of that child? Scary, no? Because what if we do not know? How do we know? Now we know because somehow by great mercy, causeless mercy, we got in touch with Prabhupada's teachings and we found our guru like that. But what about other living entities, right? They're in ignorance. They don't even know Vedic injunctions. All these big celebrities and movie stars and politicians, they're exactly living completely opposite to the Vedic injunctions. They're exactly doing everything they're not supposed to do, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Mm. And these people are leading our countries, our nations. These people are leading scientific innovations and inventions, and we're supposed to depend on these people for saving humanity. That is our condition. It's the truth of the situation, truth of the hour. Scary. Kali Yuga is going to keep degrading. Yeah. Okay. Taruni, are you available for the reading? Otherwise, we can continue.
Just reached. Amazing. No?
Oh, no. Okay.
Just understand. Like when I was going and I'm like, oh, I have to cut the milk and then again I have to go and then that and so and I just reached. So I'm like, perfect. So which paragraph? Because I was just hearing, I was not good.
The gods turn to the pale looking Surya and Chandra, encouraging them to speak from the beginning.
Yeah, I can't see. Read the first thing. The gods turn to the. I can't see that word. Something is
Pallid, pallid.
to the pallid-looking Surya. And I can't see the other word after that. Surya. Okay.
Chandra,
Surya Chandra, encouraging them to speak. Surya bowed his head. Please look upon us mercifully, for we are greatly distressed. Chandra said, Because of the sun's darkness, everyone's work has been suspended. The twin Ashwini physicians then addressed Brahma. Lord, as too much fuel can overload a fire, the powerful fetus created by Kashyap's demon has diminished the sun's energy. There is now complete darkness throughout the universe. Brahma acknowledged their prayers with a nod and mentally assured them that he would alleviate their anxiety. He motioned them to sit and said, your elder brothers, born of my mind, are Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara. Although they have no worldly desire, they sometimes travel throughout the material and spiritual skies. Once after traversing throughout the creation, being free from material contamination, they entered the Vaikuntha planet. The guard said, please describe those regions. Universe, including myself, because Narayana himself resides there along with his pure devotees. Wow. The gods headed by Indra listened. The gods said, hey, 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 guys. The gods headed by Indra listened with interest. Even Surya and Chandra became enlightened. Brahma continued. In the Vaikuntha planet, four-headed Narayana is the predominating deity. All his associates have a form like his, and they serve him without selfish desire. Narayana can only be understood by Vedic revelation. Wow. His body is made of pure goodness, unadulterated by passion or ignorance. The purpose of all religious principles is to attain residence in these worlds. The gods glanced at each other. Were these planets more beautiful and splendid than their own abode of Swarga?
Mhm.
Divining their thoughts, Brahma said, in Vaikuntha, there are auspicious forests filled with fulfilling trees, forever in full bloom. Wow. Everything. The last thing I think I forgot. Everything over there is some personal, maybe.
Everything is there. Everything there
Yeah.
is spiritual and personal.
Yeah, everything there is spiritual and personal. In great joy, couples travel in flowered bedecked airplanes, singing Narayana's glories. Gentle breezes carry the fragrance of honey dripping blossoms. Absorbed in glorifying Narayana, the Vaikuntha residents hardly notice that sweet aroma. The bees' humming sounds resemble the chanting of Hari, Hari. Hearing this, the pigeons, cuckoos, cranes, chakravakas, swans, parrots, partridges, and peacocks all stop their own singing because the bees are so qualified that they sit on Narayana's garland. The birds
Wow.
prefer to hear them glorify the Lord. Here there is like no envy, and there's so much like in praise and awe of the service of the even lesser whatever entities, right? So beautiful. The
Yeah.
trees, creepers, and flowers are also great devotees without envy. Wow, beautiful. You know, that Gaurav Mission Prabhu was giving the class, he was mentioning the same thing. Envy will come because envy is indirect form of appreciation. So instead of that, you can directly appreciate and just directly go and appreciate in your mind and to the person. Then we'll be able to get over this envy thing. So nice, right? They they all have divine fragrances, but nevertheless, they honor Tulasi because Narayana wears garlands of her leaves. The gods look surprised. How could they be a place without envy or rivalry? Rama smiled. Yeah, Rama smiled at their wonderment. Not only is there no envy in Vaikuntha, there is not even a trace of lust. The residents enjoy wondrous opulence without hard labor. The Vaikuntha men travel with their consorts in airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald, and gold. The women have attractive. The women have attractive hips, beautiful faces, and tastefully adorned, and are tastefully adorned. Nevertheless, Nevertheless, the men's passion is never aroused because they experience a higher standard of pleasure by glorifying the Lord. The
Wow,
gods
can we
experience
pause
the
there?
Lord. Yeah, okay, sure, Mataji.
Yeah. Higher standard of pleasure. Oh, isn't that where we want to reach? Isn't that what we are trying to accomplish? To not be bewildered, not be distracted, to not get insecure, to not become jealous and envious and stuck and angry about the lower tastes of this world, the lower standards of this world. And there's no reason for us to compare ourselves with people who have material tastes, right? I was actually, as we are reading this, also, I was realizing how if we do find somebody materially enjoying, right? Let's say they are less spiritually serious and they are enjoying material things, let's say beauty or wealth, okay, or whatever it is that they're enjoying, power, position. Okay, we look at them and say, okay, beautiful girl, but how long is that youth going to last? It's not forever. And then besides that, women mind, we are always insecure. No matter how pretty we are, we always have something to lament. And then the people who are wealthy, the nature of the material world is that they think they need more wealth. Nobody's saying I have enough money, right? If you ask a millionaire, he says, no, I should be making more money. So there's no satisfaction in that either. Even if you go to heavenly planets, right? Nobody's saying, I have enough apsaras, I have enough airplanes. He's thinking, no, I want upgrade. We have a iPhone, then we want the latest iPhone. So similarly, it's the same with even in heavenly planets, right? And then a power and position too. How long? How long is it going to last? How long before the Lord gets us on our knees and we become humble and feel powerless? Mm. And then let's say the other side, okay? Let's say we are actually jealous that somebody is doing amazing devotional service. Somebody has a taste for Bhagavatam, somebody who has amazing, gives amazing classes or something. And then naturally there is a little bit of insecurity, right? We feel a little bit like jealous. Oh, they're so good, they know so much. But there's no reason to be jealous or envious. Actually, we should appreciate, right? And then because that's what we want. So, and as actually even Mahatma Prabhu often says, if we cannot appreciate what we actually value in others, how can we attract it? So if we do value, say, knowledge, like say Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, he has so much realization and knowledge and purity. So if I value that, initially I may feel, oh, if we don't know him or whatever, we may feel, oh, who is this person, young person who's so famous, right? Immediately the mindset, because we are affected by material things, just like these demigods of heaven also, right? How can there be no envy? They're asking. So similarly, we may get agitated by the fame aspect. But then, like you were sharing yesterday, Tarunira, that people were eating his head, asking all kinds of questions, right? So yes, fame has its advantage, but there's also a responsibility. There is also a headache of fame, right? So if we are affected by, let's say, the material aspect of, oh, how can this person be so famous? Then it's material. So what's the point of feeling jealous about something which it's not permanent? And then if we are jealous actually about the spiritual thing, what is the reason to be jealous? It's Krishna, it's knowledge of Krishna, it's strength of Krishna. Krishna says, I'm the potency in man. So the potency of presenting beautifully Krishna consciousness, there's nothing to envy. It's actually beautiful. Wow, they're doing such nice service to somebody. So we can always weigh our emotions through the lens of, are we envious about something material? Come on, it's not worth it. Don't do that. Are we jealous or envious about some spiritual quality or trait or effort that a devotee is making? Come on, don't do that. You want that, right? It's appreciated. So that's Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavatam teaches us to distinguish reality from illusion. And what is illusion? Illusion is to think, oh, I am beautiful today, I am wealthy today, I am powerful today. That's illusion. And then what is reality? Oh, reality is, oh, they are so nicely understanding Krishna consciousness. And I want that as well. So we appreciate, we acknowledge, and we actually serve that person, because then we actually attract those qualities. So there is no reason to actually feel envy, and that's the devotee's mind. Whereas in heavenly planets, again, we are striving and struggling to make our position, to get our foot in the door, get our name on the wall, so to speak, become something better demigod, right? And we see sometimes Indra also struggling to keep his position, and always like a little bit anxious, right? So anxiety is also in the heavenly planets in Swargaloka. Okay, yeah. Any stories, comments? We can actually end the reading here today. And where did we stop? Yeah, we stopped
The
here.
incredulous. Yeah, that's the one. The Lord was the last one.
Yeah.
Glorifying the Lord. Yeah, ultimately, it's like I'm just reminded of that in the Bhagavad Gita, when devotees come together, what do? Paraspara, katha, and they speak Krishna katha, it just makes them more happy, right? Tushyanti charamanti cha, they feel satisfied and also happy. Satisfied, I'm thinking like the hankerings which are there, right? The desires, those hankerings are satisfied. At the same time, they're feeling so much bliss, happiness. So when they're already feeling this kind of higher taste in relishing Krishna Katha, then it becomes easy, right? It becomes more easy, and life is very simple. And that in my own thing, right? As I introspect, I'm thinking like so much of resentment is there, which I was like probably always having these kind of resentments, but I was not even aware. Now slowly I'm becoming aware. Wow, I'm carrying so much of resentment, and I'm like, why? And then probably the answer is in this Srimad Bhagavatam, like how I'm trying to be the center in that particular relationship, and that's why there is resentment, right? If I'm just keeping Krishna in the center, right, and actually being in the mode of service, then why will I have the resentment? So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's the answer to my, the whole day I'm thinking so much resentment I'm having, because I'm like daily reflecting now. So I'm understanding, guys. It used to come and go, I guess, but previously, but now I'm becoming specifically aware of it. Yeah.
And that's true. No, you figured out the main thing is we put ourselves in the center, and when we put ourselves in the center, there's only nothing but struggle, right? Sangharsha. Something else I thought when you were saying that putting ourselves in. Oh yeah, see, my astrology teacher, right? When he was presenting certain concepts about astrology, he was just saying, "What if let's say somebody else has wealth, somebody else has beauty, somebody else has some talent," and he's trying to explain how the more advanced you are, actually there's no difference between them having it or you having it. And that was like far out, and we implicate ourselves in karmic reactions and bondage, whatever, because of that me and mine. And we keep getting stuck about the limitations of me and mine. Like we often like, oh, how did they get that and I didn't get it? But actually, if you think, oh, so nice, somebody's singing so nicely for Krishna. Oh, somebody is able to do this for Krishna. Like if we're able to appreciate it, you get the benefit of doing it as well. And then even materially, right? Materially, if somebody is enjoying and we are like working hard and somebody's sitting and enjoying, by only realizing the self, like self-realization of who I am. I'm a soul, I'm a spirit soul, I'm connected to Krishna. This person is a spirit soul, this person is also connected to Krishna. We're all going through our karmic things, but we see somebody enjoying and we say, actually, what's the difference between them enjoying or me enjoying? it's like another level, another level of realizing ourselves, our identities. I'm unable to express and exactly articulate that realization I had. But this is, I found recently in one of my journals I had written about that lesson that I was listening in one of my astrology classes, about this realization that there is no boundary for the soul. For to experience certain things, your body doesn't need to experience it. The mind has the capacity to experience it even without being the person in that place. So meaning, again, putting Krishna in the center and seeing other person's experience, owning that, learning from that, not having to go through it yourself. So beautiful, actually. It was like that realization for me. I'm unable to unpack it exactly as I would like to, but I was like, wow, that's awesome. If I could be in that place of not feeling, and now I'm thinking that's what is Vaikuntha. Because in Vaikuntha it is like that. Nobody's comparing, nobody's sitting there saying, oh, they did a better garland than mine, they cooked better meal than me. They don't have that because the meal is cooked and they're able to like rejoice in it, and they're not seeing themselves separate from others. And that's the whole point of Achintya Beda Abheda Tattva. To be like simultaneously one and different from the Lord. Mind blowing.
So beautiful. I loved it when you said, like, you don't have to experience that. Like how our Raghunath Das Goswami, I'm just thinking, how he's telling, like, Mana Shiksha and that. Your mind can be absorbed in any holy dham, right? You might not be residing there physically, but in your mind, you can be residing there.
I can't hear.
Like how you were telling, right? Hare Krishna. Can you hear me, Mataji?
Tarun,
You said something?
yeah, now I hear you.
Yeah. So I was just saying, like, how in the mind you can actually reside in the holy dham just by, even if you're not physically there, the mind has the capacity, like how you were saying, right? The mind has the capacity to actually take us to any place and experience that particular place, right? The mind can be absorbed in any of those holy dhams if you really, if you have that internal desire. And the other one, no, I was just thinking about this Bhakti Maharaj saying like how when other person is doing something, I mean, ultimately they're doing it for who? For the person who you love, right? Our object. Right. Yeah, our object of love, that's Krishna, right? They're doing it for him. So when they are doing it to please him, we should be happy. If you're feeling envious towards them, that means we really do have love towards Krishna. Because let's say somebody, I'm feeding my child and somebody else is there and they're also helping, feeding my son. I'm not going to feel so jealous, like, oh my God, you're feeding my son, come on. You feel like, oh, thank you so much, so kind of you that you're actually feeding my son, right? So because of that love for my son, anybody else who's trying to feed, I'll feel so grateful towards them. So similarly, I'm just thinking I can extend the same concept to others also who are doing whatever service or whatever, they are serving Krishna. And if I really have love for Krishna, like the way I have for my child, then I should also be feeling so grateful. Thank you so much for serving so well. Right?
Oh. Wow. Beautiful thoughts.
It just came up now, Mataji. It just came up now. So I'm also internally thinking, oh, thank you so much, Krishna. So kind of you. Wow. My mother is here. So she's helping me feed Gaura. So I'm just feeling, I think some of Krishna together.
Yes. Uplifting thoughts. Thank you. Okay, so we will continue tomorrow. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.